was scheduled with President Trump, which could not take place in physical format because President Trump had to leave Calgary to return to return to DC because of some ongoing issues. On that, I don't want to comment. But the very fact that was immediately followed up by a 35-minute telephone call, and I think we've been given an excellent readout of the meeting. Several objectives were achieved. I think the fact that President Trump started by offering condolences to the Honorable Prime Minister for the deaths in Pahalgam. Prime Minister briefed President Trump on the ongoing Operation Sindoor. He provided a very clear perspective that when the Pahalgam attack took place, I think it was on 22nd April, India had made it abundantly clear that this attack will not go unpunished, and this is no longer possible to justify this as proxy this time. There is our Western neighbor has been using terror as an instrument of state policy, and a clear decision was taken. Therefore, when the events unfolded, yes, there were some exchanges. Those exchanges dealt with a message which had come through the US Vice President. The US Vice President had talked about the Pakistanis likely to use force, to which they got a reply from the Honorable Prime Minister that if that were to be the case, our response would be even more robust. We have never accepted, and this has been a consistent position of India, third-party mediation, and there was no discussion on any trade or any other aspect during the exchanges with the US. The request for a ceasefire came from the Pakistani side, it came from their Director General of Military Operation, and it was responded to. And I think after having demonstrated to the world that in those 22 minutes, 9 terror outfits, all right, which have security links also were hit, and not in a notional or a pro forma way, but, you know, hundreds of kilometers inside, Murid Ke, Bhavalpur, and also, I must remind you, the allied security infrastructure. But again, the Prime Minister has been making it clear. He provided the G7 with a very clear enunciation of position. The idea was not to attack Pakistan. The idea was to attack the terror establishment in a non-escalatory manner, and those who were perpetrating that terror, to leave them in no doubt that any attack on India, any terror attack, will henceforth be considered an act of war, and that Operation Sindoor is an ongoing process. I was just shown a message by a quote from the Prime Minister of Canada, Mr. PM Carney, who said, "Honored to work with India on artificial intelligence, energy, and the anti-terror fight." So, you know, some of my friends in the, I should now start calling them lie producing factory, LPF instead of INC, constantly, I mean, they turn to, oh, there's no invitation, and then when a productive 35-minute exchange takes place, they resort to, I don't know, frankly, whether this is ineptitude and incompetence or this is pure lies. But either case, it's a lie. Then they take resort to an earlier conversation which took place in January and say, oh, this is not the readout. Arey bhai, readout aane do unka. But should you or should you not accept a detailed readout by your own foreign secretary and point by point? So all I can do is, I don't want to dignify the Congress party's ongoing, you know, hallucinatory, I would call it hallucinatory fake narratives that they go and put on. But through all this, I get the feeling, Suchitra ji, that they're always looking for some way in which they can show India down. If India achieves a spectacular military success in those 22 minutes and the evidence of the devastation caused is in the public domain through commercially available satellite imagery, the Congress party and its, you know, lie peddling geniuses will go into some other direction, looking for some little thing to hang on there. in the process, they not only enhance and exacerbate their own irrelevance, but show them up in front of their own party also for the kind of people that they are. Apart from this,